Aries. If you keep treating a delayed answer like a small thing, you risk handing it the whole stage. Don't let tension speak louder than reality. Ask that delayed answer for something practical, visible, and clear. Mars brings friction into the field of words, exchanges, and your immediate environment. The point is not to win the scene, but not to lose clarity while you act. This is the kind of moment that shows you the blockage needs less thinking and more movement. Today's energy does not want a vague release. It wants that delayed answer to stop taking up space without making you pay for it later. For Aries, the strength is in pausing before impulse chooses for you. An imperfect but honest step today can count more than calm that simply preserves the problem. The real loss is training yourself again to tolerate what should have been moved. Move. Close a door, send a reply, or shift one commitment. One thing only, but make it real. Keep it close. The useful move today will not wait for applause. Taurus. If an attraction that asks for a choice stirs something in you, do not rush to give it an easy name. The signal does not shout. You see it in the way that attraction changes your posture, tone, or rhythm. Venus puts the desire, creativity, pleasure field under a test of measure. Pleasure only works if it does not erase respect. This is the kind of pull that can bring you closer, or buy a little peace for a few hours. The emotional signal matters only if that contact does not ask you to betray your center. For Taurus, useful stability today is not immobility. It is giving shape to the one point that truly matters. The stakes are about telling the difference between a bond that opens presence and a dynamic that feeds only on your reaction. If the emotional scene moves you but does not protect you, the bill can show up as confusion, dependency, or a surrendered sense of dignity. Move, strip away the seductive line and leave the real one, even if it is shorter. Keep it close if someone is lighting you up and confusing you in the same breath. Gemini. If desire asks for reassurance, slow down. It may actually want a choice. Today you need a simple line. What comes in, what stays out, what you no longer want to carry. Venus brings light to the home root emotional base area. An emotional or value-based choice cannot stay vague. It could be a message, a look, a pause. And in that pause, you realize whether you want contact or only reassurance. The emotional tension only becomes useful when a closeness that speaks of roots stops asking for reaction and starts asking for truth. A small truth today is worth more than an intense gesture that will need explaining tomorrow. For Gemini, mental speed helps only if it does not become another way to delay. If that closeness moves you but doesn't protect you, the bill can show up as confusion, dependency, or a surrendered sense of dignity. Move. Make the choice that protects both heart and boundary, not just one of them. Come back to this before answering just to be desired. Cancer. If a clarity that depends on recovery feels heavy, there is no need to force it. Repair the right point. Do not make it dramatic, but do not ignore it either. A clarity that depends on recovery can quietly shift everything. Mars lights up the work method health area. Action is needed, but it has to be guided before impulse takes over. When you release pressure in the right place, that need for recovery gives back more clarity than one more test of endurance ever would. This is an inner room that is too full, where the right gesture is not to push harder, but to remove friction. If you keep treating recovery as optional, the day can end with more presence lost than real results gained. For Cancer, the risk is buying peace on the outside and finding yourself drained on the inside. The loss is not taking a little pause. It is letting depletion show up later as a judgment error. Move, drop one commitment, protect 1 hour, and answer only after you have breathed. Listen to it again before forcing the part that is asking for measure. Leo. Today, one thing needs a name before it needs action. Do not buy relief by pushing a body that is already speaking. The sun activates identity, body, and presence. The choice cannot stay automatic. It is the body that slows down, while the mind still wants to prove presence, availability, and strength. Pushing yourself again can look like character. Today, it may just be fear of stopping. The body's bill is simple. If you confuse strength with force, clarity leaves before its time. Leo, the point is not to look strong. It is to avoid turning life into a performance when what you actually need is margin. The body does not raise its voice right away. First, it drains clarity in small pieces. The proud part wants to keep going. The lucid part listens to the body before the collapse. Cut the unnecessary. Finish one task. Protect 1 hour of silence, then restart. But not before removing one demand from the body. Move. Reduce the load now, even if it means not looking impressive. Send it to whomever has to choose today without buying peace. Virgo. If the pressure point weighs more than expected, do not choose immediately. Today you have 2 doors. Respond as if you must defend yourself, so the tension drops fast. Or, slow down and give shape to an exposed identity. The moon makes visible the point that should not be handled on autopilot. It is a small scene, but not a harmless one. One small gesture decides how much room you leave to reflex. The first door brings quick relief. The second avoids the cost you would otherwise have to justify tomorrow. Virgo, if you optimize your discomfort too, you risk making it elegant instead of stopping it. Today, presence only matters if it does not turn into a noisy armor. The strong move is not to make noise. It is to keep out what you would have to explain tomorrow. Ask yourself this: are you doing it to choose better, or just to stop feeling the tension? Make one visible but small move. Do not explain all your strength. Move. Keep one thing out, and let the choice stay clean. Come back here when the proud part wants to take over. Libra. Today you do not need to win the day. You need to get back a piece of breath. Over the next few hours, the point takes shape. If a pressure to release stays hanging, it loses precision. Venus brings magnetism into the field of words, exchanges, and your immediate environment. But the sky asks you to separate real desire from the need for reassurance. This is a day that can still look strong on the outside, but it asks you not to use your last margin as if it were endless. Recovery is not decorative downtime. It is the condition that keeps the day from being handed over to the most exhausted part of you. The stakes are about protecting the living margin from which tone, response, and good choices all depend. For Libra, useful peace does not leave a pressure to release floating in the vague. If you keep sacrificing that need, clarity pays before results do. Move. Leave out one unnecessary noise and give space back to the lucid part of you. Mark the limit before tiredness has to start shouting. Scorpio. When a commitment that needs restarting comes back around, the message is clear. No more theory. Real friction is required. No extra preparation is needed. That commitment is already on the table, and the sky asks you to read it without tricks. Mars brings pressure onto the resource's money-value axis. Use it to decide, not to force the scene. Today's turning point does not need noise. The necessary move wants one precise gesture, not another round of analysis. It is a locked door that does not need more understanding today. It needs a measurable act. For Scorpio, depth becomes useful when it stops speaking from behind control. The danger is staying loyal to an orderly version of the problem, while life asks for action. The risk is making the blockage so respectable that it becomes a style instead of a problem. Move. Take the smallest piece that creates real movement and do it before theory returns. Save it if you need to remember that a blockage survives mainly on your well-explained delay. Sagittarius. The care that helps today is not soft because it is weak. It is precise because it has to survive pressure. The key turns when you stop treating a physical limit you should not force as something to interpret and start treating it as a choice. With Venus on the identity-body-presence axis, the sky measures how much value you give before asking for respect. This is an inner room that is too full, where the right gesture is not to push harder, but to remove friction. Useful calm does not numb you out. It reshapes a physical limit you should not force into something you can actually sustain. For Sagittarius, the risk is wanting to stay open to everything and leaving the important things shapeless. If you recover first, you choose better afterward. Today, the pause is part of the strategy. If you keep forcing that tired part, the price can show up as the wrong tone, an impulsive reply, or fatigue taking over everything. Move. If you feel the limit, honor it immediately with something practical instead of pushing it to evening. Listen to it again when fatigue tries to disguise itself as guilt. Capricorn. Today, the sky does not reward those who wait for certainty. It rewards those who give shape to the first movement. This matters to you because an operational knot to untie shows where you want peace, but you need truth. Mars moving through the work, method, health area lights the fuse. It is up to you to use it to open things up, not burn them down. This is a door that will not open through more analysis, only through one small, clean choice. For Capricorn, holding everything together is not enough if an operational knot to untie keeps running the show. Pressure becomes an ally when you use it to turn the stuck point into something you can verify. Today, the real failure would be staying smart inside an impasse that has already asked for enough time. The risk is protecting the image of being lucid, while the real choice remains stuck. Move. Do now what lowers noise and ambiguity, even if it does not make you look perfect. Come back here before you give another breath to a point that only lives on your delay. Aquarius. Today, attraction only matters if it leaves your measure intact, not if it forces you to chase. The pressure point is here. A closeness that asks for dignity can look manageable until you notice it is setting the pace. Venus moves through the field of intimacy, shared resources, and transformation. Attraction, measure, and dignity all sit in the same scene. This is the kind of contact you cannot read only with an open heart. You also have to read it with your spine straight. The living part does not want a performance. It wants to know whether a closeness that asks for dignity brings presence, or only a need for reassurance. The stakes are simple. Do not let yourself be chosen only because you are afraid of being unseen. For Aquarius, seeing beyond the surface is useless if the signal never becomes a concrete choice. If the emotional scene lights you up but makes you smaller, the bill arrives through your dignity. Move. If the contact is real, you can allow clean slowness. If it cannot hold, you will see it quickly. Listen to it again before giving your presence to someone who only wants reaction. Pisces. The uncomfortable truth is not here to hurt you. It is here because the alibi has expired. There is a small fracture between what you know and what you keep defending. And today it shows more clearly than usual. Do not widen the scene too much. One person, one sentence, one gesture, and an emotional habit that no longer protects you becomes readable at last. Mars pushes through the home, roots, emotional base area. Today, courage has to be dosed, not allowed to explode. If that emotional habit that no longer protects you starts to sting, maybe it is not attacking you. Maybe it is stripping the disguise off an old defense. For Pisces, depth becomes strength when it accepts the boundary that makes it legible. If you do not name the fear, it will still find a way to write the day. If the truth underneath stays unnamed, tomorrow it will speak louder and with less grace. Move, name the point that stings, and build the boundary from that, not from the face you want to save. Use it before you protect a version of yourself that costs too much.